Hello beautiful people, welcome to the second episode of Be With Us show. And in my previous video I mentioned something about this being a suicide prevention month, and so today we'll be talking about we all experience depression, anxiety in our day-to-day life, and today we are here to share out our stories to help people to know the warning signs of depression and how they can handle it. I've personally gone through depression in one way or another, at home, at school, in just different environment. And so please, might any of you have something about maybe the experience you've had before, or rather maybe someone you've seen go through the same?
Okay, so for me, I have had that experience of suicide. First, I went into depression and then it climaxed into something else. So it was my first encounter happened to me when I was in Form 2, my high school life, my early stages of adolescence, and being from a family whereby I'm a child born out of wedlock. It comes with a lot of issues, especially to our African mothers.
Yeah.
So at Form 2, that's when I experienced the worst experience ever, and I felt like nobody really wanted me. Everything seemed so hard on me. Mom was so hard on me. My dad, because he wanted to protect the marriage and for the sake of all the others. I presumed it was as if he expected me to understand the situation, but maybe I was too young to understand, and I needed that tender love, that good, to be taken good care of. Also needing a mother figure. And since we were not in good terms with my mother, I felt that general rejection. So went to school, and it's normal for human beings to look for social interactions. So I wanted to look for something that would give me meaning, something that could engage me, something that could make me feel acceptable. So I joined a drama club in my high school life to just hide from the facts and the pressure that comes with it. But it seems that it never worked for me, because at the same situation, there are a lot of things that happen. You're acting those roles that are demanding to your own situations, and I tended to sympathize a lot. In fact, there's a time I costed the drama team a lot because I was acting a role and I was not supposed to cry. But because of whatever things that I was doing on stage, I found myself crying, and it contributed a lot to the downfall of that performance. In fact, the adjudicators commented on it that it was beyond us because everybody cried on stage. So it's climaxed now. From that, my mom never wanted me. Wanted to go home, but she was never willing to accept me. She was always like, just go back please and humble yourself. Things will be okay. But for me, I never saw things that were okay. There were a lot of favorism, insults here and there, sometimes abuse. So I reached a point and decided, okay, like enough is enough. And there's this friend of mine who introduced me to other things. We are so much into, easily swayed into joining other, maybe cults and other stuff. So for me, I joined a cult. And the reason for me to join that cult was at least to punish someone, because I knew when you join a cult, there's this thing, you're supposed to offer at least somebody a sacrifice. You have to offer a sacrifice and stuff. So I wanted to, just as a punishment to her,
to teach someone a lesson.
Yeah, to teach somebody a lesson.
You wanted to teach your mother a lesson?
Yeah, I wanted to teach my stepmom a lesson.
Oh, yeah.
So I joined this cult, and at the initial stages it worked. If it was for fame, it worked for me a lot because I started getting approvals from people. I had a lot of crowd around me. So it's this time that now it was the time for the stepmother now to experience the best feeling that you ever had. It was almost a success, by the way. Yeah, because she got struck with a with an familiar disease. Yeah, but she almost died. But during that time, when she was in that state that she almost died, something happened to our family now. So we had this small business premises that our family was operating just around the compound. And then her kid was found dead at that place. And they said that he had been electrocuted at our premises. So it started a long court battles, and my dad was charged for murder of that kid. So from that, the experience that my dad, remember I wanted my mom to be punished. It was not my dad. So at the same time when that thing was happening, a child died.
So collateral damage.
It was like a collateral damage. So instead of my stepmom, it was now that kid. Okay, to me, I saw it that way, but to maybe it was not the case because my dad was not there, nobody was there, not there. We only find the body. So at a school, my dad went in for that. So I went to ask the boy. I said, okay, this is what happened. But look here, somebody else dies and it's bringing a lot of problem to my family. So that's from that point now I felt like it's not doing any good to me. So now the process of starting to get out of that cult is what now led me into the peak of my depression. And I felt a level I wanted to just kill myself and let it go. So there's this Sunday morning, I go to church, not feeling very well, everything is not good. And I come back home. In my room, I start now contemplating of everything because I'm seeing my dad is suffering and the rest of my siblings and the rest of the family is suffering because of my decisions that I made. So I slowly took my time for the school and just sat quiet for around 15 minutes with the tie on my hand, thinking and reasoning, okay, for the next step. So I took the tie and just tied it on the bed. It was a double-decker bed, so just tied it on the bed and prepared myself to hang it on. So the good thing just happened like in a movie, by the way. Like in a normal movie, you see like the protagonist is all about to make that bad decision, and then somebody comes in and rescues him.
Yeah.
So for my sake, my younger brother had followed me because he also maybe got tired with the church and he followed me. But or maybe he was sent by God just to rescue me from that situation. So he came at the peak when I had already hung myself and struggling with everything. But then kujinyonga is bad. It's painful. It's painful.
It's not easy.
You thought you just slide into the new world.
Yeah, I thought it would be just an easy thing. So long as you snap, you're done. So he found me when I was struggling and gasping for air. And then he called people and they came and rescued me from that.
But to come to what you said,
Yes.
like you've made me think of how many people have had the same kind of reality.
Yeah.
like your head is already on the loose, and then you're like kicking your last kicks, and then you're like kind of making a wrong decision, making a mistake, and then there's no one there to save them. Just think of that, huh? Think of that.
Basically, that's the most painful thing, because there are people. For me, I'll say it was. I owe my life to my younger brother, because without him, I could have been normal. And maybe because others never got a person to at the right moment when they were making those decisions. Because for me, in fact, I had initially withdrawn myself from people because I took it the whole blame on me. Despite even noticing later that my mom was suffering from goiter. So I just took the whole blame on me, like I'm the cause of everything, why the family is doing so, and I tried to withdraw myself. So I felt that the easiest option, just death. So after getting my movie rescue,
composition primary tungesema hapo ni in the nick of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The nick of time. So yeah, true. In the nick of time, so my brother came. From there, my dad was told like, okay, this is what we found Mark trying to do, and we started a series of now counseling and everything, just encouraging me, sympathizing with my situation, trying for me to explain my situations, the way I felt, and everything that led me to that. So by me expressing after that experience and expressing, by the the pain that I experienced,
Can never go back.
Yeah, I had to change something, so I opened up and I was assisted. I was assisted. My parents sympathized with my situation, and we talked with my stepmom, and from henceforth we had a good cordial relationships. Between me and her, my brothers. So yeah, that was my experience generally. That was my experience. It was more painful.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, and then after that, accepting myself, accepting the situation, and then we started the journey now from how do I get myself out of the cult, because it's something, the effect that I still experience even after the opening that I gave, allowing myself to understand the situation, that okay, it was not me alone, other factors of the situation. So yeah, that's basically the story that I had. It was indeed a bad experience.
Yeah.
But isn't it funny also how youths are pushed to such desperate lengths because they do not have someone to talk to?
Yeah.
And opening up has to be made paramount, because you get to know that once you open up, you see, my mom always tells me a problem talked about or a problem shared is half solved.
Yeah.
So like you always just have to get that safe space, that person who you can open up to, a person that can listen to you, a person that can listen without judging, because you know also you look at things and then you're like, hey, what will people say?
Exactly.
You go to your best friend, you're like, hey bro, nimeachwa, ako like, hey bro. Nasikia mbaya, ako like, bro, natakakulia Taliban bana, Taliban.
Exactly.
But then society also has some little standards that it's really funny that we have to conform to some standards that are set for us, and yet we can't assign, and they do not help us in any way, pushing us deeper and deeper into depression.
Yeah.
And then there's this another notion, because basically for me, something that even contributed me to that level of wanting to commit suicide, it was not even wanting. I attempted to commit that suicide. There's this notion in the society that you are youth, you are young kids, so you don't have any
Yeah,
stress.
you don't have problem.
Yeah.
That's so
I know,
bad.
how's that?
Yeah, you don't have any stress. Even if there are a lot of parents, I engage with the other my other friends, and they tell me like they don't have that good relationship with their parents. There are some things they cannot talk with their parents.
Yeah.
So I ask myself, if you cannot talk to your parents, then whom are you going to talk to?
I think it's also a really, really funny thing that the society has us thinking as men that it is really not manly to feel.
Yeah.
You have to be so strong. I remember there was this time, as in, I was writing, and then as those little poetic moments as you write, or I also write with it, those little poetic moments as you write. So I was talking about how masculinity, how society has taught me to look and embrace that my masculine side, how I should look at everything and put aside everything that seems to be making me feel weak, to embrace the masculinity. But as the words, in the words themselves, they say, as my walls came tumbling down, as darkness came in on me, the only thoughts that I could think of us were of you, of us. And I was trying to address that to a person that we would talk about everything together, and then, well, there was some little hiccups here and there, and then we could not talk anymore. But all in all, we have to put aside this notion that men do not feel. Men have to feel.
Yeah.
They
Man,
do.
acheni kukua Taliban, by the way. Taliban is even trend.
Gangster points.
Gangster points. I also had an experience with this as the gangster points. Utaenda utai, hey, stay Taliban, and then nigga, at the end of the day, you'll be crying in your bed alone.
And you
You
have
have
no
to
one to talk
feel.
to.
You have to feel. And no one has to judge you for feeling, because we're human.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you come with muscles and beards and stuff out there.
Beards.
Yeah. Just because you come with all those, you are also human.
Yeah.
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 Okay, speaking of wedlock, like I think that's the immediate cause like of all his problems.
Yes.
And by now minajua hizi cases there are more and more being born out of wedlock, and you know you're left there. Maybe you're born, your mom leaves you at your granny's place, they go somewhere else to get married. At least they're looking for that, you know, that comfortability, making a marriage work. You know, those days they were like, you know, you have to get married, you have to maintain a family. You know, right now, say in our generation yet, we can be like, man, me if this marriage is not working, me I'm out. I'm going to be an independent woman. Exactly, and that's why we're working so much to be financially stable, so that we can at least stand on our own.
But then we, you know, one thing that we have to realize about our society and stuff is that even when children are brought out, are brought in through wedlock, you have to realize that even before you get into that, you're not going only to be affecting your life. You get, you're bringing some other human being in the world, and this human being's life is going to be fucked up from the get-go just because of your silly decisions. So all in all, banapia youths, bana.
And right now we have like early pregnancies all over the
it's also
world.
like, you see, we were just in first year the other day, right?
Yeah.
Then right now, hey, unafika class wasi wako na maternity dress. I'm not judging them, but I'm saying like there are safe ways of living. Because right now, what if you bring that kid you bring forth the kid, right? And then you have no way of providing for them. It's going to fuck this kid's life all through. And now imagine when we go into the education system and stuff, then they find these other kids who are in well-off families and stuff. It also brings in the point of depression, because they're trying to live lives that they cannot get. And it all started because somebody somewhere decided to live a reckless life.
It's a pause.
Okay, now Mark said something about society, and I'm thinking, well, society also gives us the standards by which we should live, and when we fail to live by those standards, they are the first to reject us. Your point was drama school, you felt like you'd failed your whole team, and then you went into this cult seeking solace and somewhere, something to make you popular, more popular, you get. And once the popularity came, still your problems are not over. So I'm thinking, maybe popularity is not always the answer, you get. And so what if we loved ourselves to the point of saying, you know what, no one has to tell me how to live my life. I do not have to live my life because someone said living my life means having 10k followers on IG or having 1,000 retweets on Twitter and such things, then that would really be important in escaping the need to please society than trying to always fit in. Because when you try fitting in all the time,
there's this thing in life where they say that you'll never please society. I think it's so true.
Yeah.
Because once you make it, they'll talk. Say this nigga is in a cult or something.
Yeah.
When you do not make it, they'll talk.
yeah, it's a big
No
deal.
matter whether you go left or whether you go right, they'll always talk. And then there is also this thing that I have come to adopt myself, and it's the best version of me is what I know about me,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Because Mark, you might know me, right? But you know your version of me.
Yeah.
And I only make known to you the version of me that I want you to know.
Yes.
So whatever you say about me is only from your eyes and your point of view. It does not affect anything about my life. I am a whole entity as a whole. You see, I have a voice friend, and she says you have to learn to look at things like the money. Now, go stare at a mirror, right? What do you see? So I was telling her, I see my reflection. Then she's like, no. Look at it deeper. Then I'm like, what am I supposed to be looking for? Then she tells me, you're nothing but an observer. Look at it that way. You're nothing but an observer. You're just controlling the shell that you're in.
Yeah.
Nothing around you affects you. You are already an entire entity on your own. So if you embrace that and you put that in, you will have to know that nothing that people say about you, nothing that all the life torrents that come your way do not have to push you to a point where you find yourself at an edge or at a cliff that you want to topple over. Because at the end of the day, you are you, and you have you for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of the society and the notions, of course. So, for instance, let's talk about say the age of our mothers, our parents. Yeah, the days when they got married. And there's this notion that you really have to stay in a marriage. You get these toxic marriages, and someone, most of our parents would rather stay in abusive marriage, wachapwe wakufe, than kutoka kwa hiyo marriage in the name of people will say I abandoned my family.
Yes,
I did
it
this.
didn't work.
Or rather, someone is like, Harry, I commit suicide, I die. That way, I won't live being blamed forever.
Yes.
Being blamed for doing the right thing. Like me, I think that's something that should change.
Yeah, basically it's something that you need to change, but we also, human beings, we were created to depend on each other, move with each other. For example, for my case, basically what took me every is like I tried now to fit in the society because I felt like I was rejected, and it's still something that I'm dealing with it up to now. That any aspect of rejection. In fact, just sharing with my friends the house here, and I told them that up to now, if I ask something and you just tell me no,
It hits different.
it hits me differently. I don't know how to handle it. I feel like it's rejection, but also the society, the present society that we are living in, we are so much into, let me say what, we're so much into fame, we want fame,
Cloud.
we are chasing cloud and everything. And then there's also this this pressure that comes with religion. Okay? There's this pressure that comes so much with religion. It's not that I'm not against any religion. I am a believer. I come from, by the way, a priestly family. So, yeah, there's this pressure that comes with religion that you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. People nowadays, there are good values that come with it, but there are also bad things that come with it. For example, this notion that you cannot divorce.
Yeah.
Okay? Divorce is fought very harshly in our religion.
Yeah.
Okay, in Christianity, divorce is not something that is entertained, and there is only a small portion that in the Bible that allows for divorce. Maybe if whereby adultery and other stuff that comes in. So we are taken to believe that when you are in an abusive relationship, you're just supposed to persevere.
He can't.
Something will change.
Yeah.
There's nothing that changes. In fact, if you tolerate a person today, if I hit you, I just pick something and throw at you, and you take it normal. It will gradually develop. Today I've thrown, tomorrow I will come and get all of you. So this notion that will come with a lot of biblical and religious norms, and so what I would like to say is something that needs to end. You don't have to stay in a marriage that is abusive. Yesterday I was talking with my landlady and she was talking, there was an experience, there's this judgment that a judge had made that housewife should be paid and everything. And so she commented that you find that you are a housewife, you've stayed at home, you've taken good care of the family, and then somebody just comes from nowhere and hits you because maybe there's a small thing. And then I ask her, okay, if you find yourself in such a situation, how could you handle it? And she tells me, I will pour hot water on that person.
But that happens
I pour hot water on him or poison him. And I just told her, no, it's not good. If it's not working, be courageous enough to just walk out.
Yeah.
Zulu says that it's better we hear that you divorced rather than hear that you died because of a toxic relationship.
And then there is also something that I read, and it said, an eye for an eye will leave the world blind.
True.
If I do something bad to you and then you counteract and do something evil to me, at the end of it all, there is no shade of gray. It's all black.
Yeah.
And then you see, back to what I was saying and what he's saying, he's brought in the factors of religion, and this is so true. You see, we get depressed because we're trying to live the best version of our lives in someone else's eyes, in someone else's standards. You see, what I think is that no one can ever set standards for you when you know what you want.
Yes.
You get me? Because at the end of it all, your life is more than just what people think about you. You get me? Like, your life is more than just your social media likes.
Yeah.
Your life is more than just about what people say about you, what your friends say about your dressing, what your friends say about your interactions, what your friends say about your relationships with other people. Your life is greater. And that is why you have to come to an understanding with yourself and understand what it is that you are. You're a complete entity on your own. You do not have any control over the external factors and what people will say. Because as we've said, ukifanya kitu nzuri, they'll still talk.
Yeah.
Ukifanya kitu mbaya, they'll still talk. At the end of the day, you just have to have your own version. And I'm not against religion too, because I also, my dad is a pastor.
Praise God.
Praise God. My dad is a pastor, but then we're not against religion.
Yeah.
But you see, when people try to stand at the forefront and say something about religion, people will always be at the forefront to defend religion. But we're not against religion. We're against some doctrines.
Exactly.
There are some practices that we have adopted and yet are ghastly to us, but we do not want to shut them off because it is edged towards religion. It may be beneficial to some people and over some certain period of time, but we have to have something that is not static. We have to have a conversation, an honest conversation with ourselves and tell ourselves this is what we want and this is how we're going to get it. And all in all, if you get to a point where you're depressed, man, fungua roho.
Yeah.
Man, like I always tell my friends, man, it's really simple for me, it's really simple for me to hear your story than for me to read your eulogy.
Yeah.
Sure.
You get it? Isikuwe ati, yo, this guy alijinyonga kwa nini aliachwa. And you would have just called me uniambie, yo, Sam, nimeachwa.
Lakini watu wanatuacha pia. Watu wanaacha.
Pia mimi niliachwa by the way, but all in all, life goes on. Yeah.
Don't commit suicide. You still love
commit suicide because, you have to find someone, your safe space. Someone mwenye utampigia, you talk about it and anakuelewa. Like there is no judgment in that. And that is what everyone should strive to get. Mse mwenye atakuelewa through everything, thick
anything.
Okay, so, speaking of kuongelesha mtu, okay, si necessarily kwa mtu. Like personally, I talk to a teddy bear. I know it's
It's smart.
No, that's so weird.
Listen.
That's so weird. So like,
That's
I'm
weird.
trying to picture you. Like, umekaa chini then.
Listen.
So take imekuwa hivi.
It's
Okay. Sasa, oh yeah. Imagine, let me, yeah, it's about my teddy bear. Okay, I'm not gonna trust issues with people because you're afraid you might go talk to someone and now and everything. Plus, you won't always get someone to talk to. You can maybe live alone. So there's a times when is this stress that it causes people you cannot face and tell them, yeah, we don't like what you're doing. You get maybe a lecturer just fucks up your day. You know, he just really like ruins your day. And he's like he has to talk. You know, he has to do the talking. There's nothing you can do. Okay, when you go back to the house, you know what I do? I think I do more of a role play. It can either be a teddy bear or that mirror. And now I'm like, no, the teddy bear is this lecturer. No, I can now tell him all the things in the world, you know. And he's our baby nitakuchapa.
Lakini sasa hizo si unaweza mchapa.
Yeah, nitakuchapa exactly. Then after that, I'm literally done. Na hiyo hasira inatoka done. Or rather kwa kioo, when I feel low, I've done something. But there's a time we had a conversation, it was like, when you do someone was saying, when I do something, when I feel like I'm the worst person, then I remember someone did it, but they are good. Okay. So I go talk to the mirror, I go talk to this guy in the mirror, girl, you know what, you did something wrong, but you can do it. You know what, you can change. This is not the worst thing to have done.
Yeah, true.
And things just happen. We're humans who make mistakes. So I don't think I can get to that point of, okay, especially when I've done something wrong, like something at a personal level. Not just manipulation which comes in from external forces. Yeah, but it's personal. I've done something that I feel bad about it. Or I just talk to myself and I'm like, girl, you can do it.
The best person to hold your hand is
you.
Yeah, by the way, because a lot of times what I tell you open up, but me pia believe you open up what you feel somebody else can consume. You need to open up. As much as that me who open up, but kuna some situations I don't speak about them. You know, but hii option ya beats is also good because that's the moment you get to speak to yourself, like you empty up everything, because the moment unanyamaza you don't have somebody to talk to and you don't have a way ya ku express those emotions. It's not piled inside. The moment you pile inside utajipata you don't have control. Unajua most of the time ndio usema you never know when you're depressed. You never know. And somebody else atakwambia like, hey dude, then you react. Most of the time mimi by that time nilikuwa too emotional. A simple joke and na blow vibaya sana. It's just a simple statement. Hadi ni kitu pengine tumezoea, tunajua kuna wewe. Alafu ile time unakuja like, na mimi na feel it's just something normal. Sure. So it's also good to open up.
Kwa kitu ya open up, amount ya open up, my dad told me, very wise man. Aliniambia, a wise man knows how much to say.
Exactly.
You won't say everything.
Yeah, you don't say
everything.
You will see everything.
And I think as far as opening up is concerned, unafaa tu kuambia say vitu zenye you sure hata kama pengine you want to be affected so much. Ama vitu zenye hata akikosa kuelewa you won't feel like amekulet down. But pia again on opening up, watu open up na agenda. Like
yes,
why are you
yes,
opening
yes.
up?
Yeah, true.
Come on, open up for secrecy. Make it really apparent to the person you're telling that manze mimi siko comfortable with this stuff, msikujua. You know, like let it be between the two of us, you know. Na kama you're comfortable bringing in other people, because sometimes tunapata challenges zenye we need more than one person's insight. Unaona kama vitu kama you know, you need to talk to someone and you need to talk to even more people so that you can get that strength. Yeah. So my experience with depression was when I was 18, 2 years ago. So
Okay.
as I was saying. So I really felt that at 18 I should have accomplished more. And I really used to beat myself up thinking, oh my god, I don't have a job, I do not have a stream of income. Looking back, it was so crazy because what was I even thinking? Because I wanted to get this sort of satisfaction of being able to say, this is my money, work for it, and such things. You don't grow into financial literacy and stability overnight. It takes time. So learn about that 2 years ago, and it's been a journey of thinking, by the way, I'm still young and I should take this one step at a time. One step at a time. Not to be sane enough not to compare myself with other people. Not to say that because someone else is succeeding, then I'm a failure, because that's not true. We are all in our personal journeys, and kuangalia mse mwingine, the next person's lane, it's not wise. Unajipea tu pressure for no good reason.
At 18, what are people doing? At 18, pombe watiti
some men make meals, others make millions.
Millions lazima itwadili food.
Kukuwa tu sane enough to realize that things are seldom what they say. Mtu anaweza kuwa amekaa fiti, amewaluku, especially hapa campus, and you don't even know where they get their money from. Alafu later on you come to realize, kwa baba association, and you've been competing with this. Mtu anapewa 30 G's over the weekend and you're competing with that. Hiyo ni kaa kujiua tu.
Actually, sorry, za baba tutakujia. Because they are making us, they're misleading us. They're having pressure.
Your boyfriend anakubaia ugali matumbo
Now you're feeling like,
But anyway, what she's saying, you will be doing. Because we tend to judge ourselves for 10 years. But then there is this mind in you're working on your own timeline. You get like it hit so much was that I was always looking at days I've had songs I just forget. So I was looking at this guy because there's this song here and I said, I was a millionaire by 18. Then I was like, guys, this is a millionaire by 18. How? So you know, guy me that difficult. But the guy was a millionaire by 18 and he made us 21. Kila mseko na ako na nia kwa. But what you know, you guys have to notice one thing, like you have only one life, and you don't know whether you live 9% or 91% of your life. Una get? So you have to notice that life is too short to beat yourself down with other people's accomplishments. Una get? Unataka kujiembrace na what you're doing wewe mwenyewe. Yeah, so only know bana ni kujishikilia, kujitapua mgongo na kusonga mbele.
Okay, let's talk about the teenagers, because I believe most teenagers and youth are the ones being affected with suicide and the depression. There's a lot of pressure with us. Like, yeah. Can you talk about them?
Kitu yenye mimi naona na teenagers and youth is that we are trying to live we are trying to live our lives according to other people's standards. So because msiame kwa Jordans, you want to wear Jordans. Why do you want to wear Jordans? You see, there is something called dream and then there is look. That's what maybe I got up and wished I wanted to Carlos, wise man here. So he told me, look will come from your own individualism, as in like your character. But this is something in your soul yet. So by the law, I do the because that is who you are and what you can afford. Unajaribu kujipush to the edge kuvaa kama social fulani Instagram. So that you will get those Instagram likes na post picture ukifanya hizi vitu zao za sijui. Unaget. And then if it does not come out the way you want, unataka kujibit down, unaona if you're a failure or something like that. Alafu hapo ndio depression inaset in. If you do not live your life according to standards za watu wengine, you feel as if you're and that is something that has to change, because only not when you say when you wewe peke yako, there will never be any other Samataka in the world. Unaget. Mimi ni mimi, and once I'm gone, itakuwa tu hivyo. Because people will still be looking at my life and they'll be like, this guy lived his authentic life here mwenyewe. And that's what youth should strive to do. Kila mmoja.
Yeah. And then, okay, I also think parents. Our parents, maybe they're not free with their kids. a lot of parents, like I think only 2%, can talk to their kid and tell them, you know what, Sam, okay, you don't need to speak out. As in, I don't know, they believe you're strong, they believe, or rather, just because you're eating in my house, I'm dressing you and everything, so you're not allowed to be down.
My parents fall by the 2%. I can talk with my dad. I can actually wase wao wakisikia nikikuwa comfortable na my dad wako like, bro, hiyo ni babako unaongelesha hivyo. He's my friend. That's what people should do. Ukikuwa na mtoi, make sure yeye ni mtoi wako, but pia ni rafiki yako.
So I feel like home is not home anymore.
Yeah.
You can't go home at some point, especially for campus students, at least you found new families in school and everything. See when you have kids, yeah. But let's say for like a high school student, someone has gone through bullying at school, even in primary, and the only person you have to talk to is your parent. You don't know whether actually who you are real or this one is real. And then parents are not there, I feel like I'll be now on a little depression of their own kids.
It's a fact. In fact, mimi, the best thing from my experience ile wakati I was depressed na kufika to that situation, sikuwa very close na my dad, but maybe it's also attributed to I went to a boarding school at an early age. So I never built that good rapport with my parents. So maybe that's what affected me. But after that scene and that period, I'm so close with my dad and my mom, my stepmom also, married mom. Like we talk everything. In fact, there's a time I was hit by a bad heartbreak and I was like, I had nowhere to go to, but then I don't travel. Okay, I have friends, but there are some friends I cannot just tell them. They will be like, okay, Daddy, are you just serious? So I prefer to talk to my dad, and we talk a lot. Most of the time we also share a lot of things. But now the present, our young parents, the big problem is we have too many young parents. Okay, we have so many young parents in the society, and then the few mature or older parents that we do have, they are absent. Okay, and then they prefer this thing that I can be a single mom, I can be a single dad, and run my own things. So take it a child. There are some things that are supposed to be handled by a fatherly figure, and there are some things that are supposed to be handled by a motherly figure. So you find you have a single mom, but there's no parent. But when you see, I'm not saying that those who are brought up by single parents have not grown very well, because there are some who have their uncles who are very close. Their uncles act as their father figures, and others they have their aunts who act as their father figures. But also we have so much absentee parents. So we have young parents, those parents who are single and they just focus to bring you at one point that so much protective of you, so they don't want you to explore other avenues and other potential. So you find that you're so engraved to them. Like take it, you have a single mom, single parents tend to protect so much their children that they don't trust that they can handle some other things by themselves. So these kids, when they find that they are doing, and they live so much on do's and don'ts. So you find a kid amefanya the don'ts, okay? The don'ts imemu-affect so much, haezi open up. Unaona haezi open up, so inamfinyilia tu na inampush.
But you see, we're looking at this child's point of view. Look at the parent's point of view here.
Yes.
Because like imagine when you've seen a single parent, imagine a mother that's pressed down with all the bills in the family, all the things have to run, and she's the one who's carrying all the burden, and she has no one to open up to. That is why they will also, the way you also temperamental at that time.
Yes.
You do one little don't, and then she's like, oh,
She explodes.
Yeah.
You see now.
Yeah, how they should also be taken aside. Like they should also be like some place where yes, children should be friends with their parents.
Yeah.
Right? No, parents should be friends with their children, but children also should be friends with their parents. Because there are some things, trust me, there are some days when I have seen it when my mom is low, and then she'll call my elder sister, or Samantha, and they would talk and they would laugh. That's a really nice example.
Yeah.
A safe space, lakini kwa mtoto wako. Yeah, that's what we
Yeah, exactly. And basically, that's why I was saying they also need that breathing. But you don't expect a young kid to understand the parents.
That's the society to
Okay. Yeah, as in
that's the society.
when we are talking about teenagers, okay, you are a mature person. You are at the university. You understand. There's some times when I'm feeling like I didn't this situation. I have to handle it myself. Just don't engage my parents. For example, I need some money to do some other small errands. I don't engage my parents because I'm at a level of understanding. Okay, and sometimes our parents lack. Okay, so you grow unaweza realize unaweza lala njaa, unaweza kosa tembo kwa mfuko. Shona, ama usurvive na shilingi 100 per month.
Speaking of campus students.
Yeah, it's fact. But sasa now this primary kid.
Yeah, hata leo.
Ndio nakwambia their parents also need, as much as the children as such a kid, kuna ile level at understand pia ajitume tu level yake.
Let me finish na hii. Like there is always a need for people to play the Superman role in other people's lives. We have to rid ourselves of that. I was watching All American season 3, and then there was an argument between Spencer and Coop. Then Coop was like telling Spencer, you always have this tendency of having the S on your chest, like the Superman when unataka kukuja, you come in and save everything. Man, if the burden is too hard for you, utajumiza, utapinywa.
I was speaking of the campus students. But then most of the campus students, up to your age when you're in campus, the days of hustling, now after campus, we're the one being affected the most. I think because they left the world. Once I'm finished and I'm in first year, my parents has to let me now concentrate on the kids, on my siblings sorry, high school. They shouldn't do that. For God's sake, they're the people suffering.
I see that it's an urgent need for mentorship and for someone to hold the people. People say that ukitoka campus now you're a grown up. Man, we've not stepped into the real world. We're now stepping in. We need a person mwenye anatushikilia mkono. Unaona? Like I was talking with my dad recently na aliniambia like once you're done with campus, man, nimekuja huku juzi na natoka. But anyway, once you're done with campus, come back and we'll talk about it, right? You're growing into a man and there are some things about life that you have to be taught about. Not that it's the parent that understands it, but we have parents who do not see it that way. We have parents who, after that, once you're done, wanakuachia, you had a help loan, bro, you didn't know. Then help loan, man, gava, you see. Like people, how? We in Kenya, we know the unemployment rate, and then they're giving us 36 months afterwards. You gave me a loan for 4 years. How am I supposed to start paying it after 6 months of my 4 years? Like that is also a major contributing factor. Or to the people when you kama kuna msio konje mwenye atawachi video na akona hizo help stuff zenye be strong. We will go through it.
Okay. Coming to that issue, help loan. For now, after you're done with school, the government doesn't expect you to clear it. For you to be given now a certificate of clearance, at least for that certificate, you only need to pay around 2,000 shillings, at least to show that you have started paying. So there's no much pressure on the government. But now, whatever is leading to so much depression to those people who are in the university. I remember when I was going to the university, I had a conversation with my dad, and I was like, Dad, nikishafika second year, we'll have my car, we'll have my business, and he was like, how are you going to do it? Yeah. You see, because I had this perception, kuna watu tunaseka about driving gari.
We appreciate it enough, but how is it?
Yeah, so my dad alikuwa na laugh. But I don't know, you reach there, then you there's these things. But anyway, a lot of pressure in for university students. Once a parent amekueducate and expect kutoka school upate employment and other stuff. That's one point. But for now, our parents wamejaribu ku understand because the situation of our country. Okay? But this extra pressure unajua inafaa vijana pia tujiambiane ukweli. For example, say hizi statement, oh, men are trash. Men are something. I always tell girls that you are the person. Okay? You are a person, an individual person. As much as huyo mwanaume atakuwa anashughulikia, once you just get pregnant, it's you. It's you and it's all about you. As much as hata huyo mwanaume atakuwa anakupatia that 50 bob or ana purchase, ni buy hizo pampers, ni buy whatever zenye kid atakuwa anashughulikia, a lot of that time yoyo mtoi ataspend na wewe. So prepare yourself. Kuwa na something, if unajua utaenda engage in something na upatie mtoi, jua kama uko at least financially stable. You as a girl, usiangalie ule boy mwenye anakuja na hiyo nini. You as a girl, it's your responsibility. Okay?
And again, vile unasema, remember, it's not just your life. If you are mwingine happy.
Na pia, the life of that kid be involved part. Usimzae alafu uende utupe kwa choo.
If you're man enough to lie down and make a kid, you should be man enough to stand up and support the kid. So what would be your story?
No, as in it's true, but not every man wanapenda kukua. Ushaona? Alafu na hii pressure pia inakuja na mambo ya church. Okay, me I don't support abortion. Okay? But I don't also support uzae mtu yeye kuja teseke. Sure. So youth tujipange. You still have life. You still have life to your part. So you don't have to go with the pressure. You still have time. You will grow to eat. People don't grow in one day. In one day. So for us to expect a lot just to get money, and you're out of campus and you want money, boom, immediately. Hiyo inatufanya some girls wanapiga kule picha huko hivyo nje naked and they're saying, oh, we are criticizing them because we don't have men, we don't have control over that. It's not that it's not that we don't have control to your body, that's why we are criticizing you. Just be logical. Sean?
May divert a little bit just to share something small.
Yes.
Like, one thing that I will always stand against is double standards. Double standards, that is one thing that I will always stand up against. You will not take a picture with your posterior facing 90% of the screen and then uso yako iko huko juu sasa, and then unatupostia unatuambia #lol living my best life, and then when people start coming for you, you start saying, oh my god, men are so into my body, how are they for me? Msichana unapost mwili yako mwenyewe, you are the one who's putting yourself out there. Then once unatreatiwa kama that material unatreatiwa, what's not objectified, that's the word I was looking for. Nataka kupiga kelele ati men. No, it's not men. So it is you.
And hizo vitu zenye zinatuaffect. So basically whatever affects so much of our university students and wale tuna usher into mature adulthood, we have this social media pressure. Just after the likes and everything, we have other people who are also in toxic relationships and other stuff, and then the societal pressure. But we need to be us, just the way you said. We need to be us, okay? And being us doesn't mean that you do rational decisions and things that will cost your life and everything. You just need to be sensible and talk to ourselves, have an honest conversation. Not everybody is a contributor to whatever we are facing. Some other things we are facing. Vijana wenye wanakufa juu ya wash. You know, a lot of youths wamekuwa wanakufa. You find a youth alikuwa anaishi a posh life na then boom, anakufa mysterious death. See it evil. These people there are people who do maybe money laundering. And because youth mnataka ile pesa na ile wealth ya haraka, I get you, engage you na kupatia money na kutumia. Wakati nafika mahali niliona your usefulness imeisha na nakuslota ushaona na kutoa shingo, na sikutoa shingo wewe peke yako, natoa na wale wengine wenye wamekuwa affect. So tukuitwa pole man, money itakuja, hii pesa itakuja, tutatajirika. Na mimi ndio sasa napenda hii mimi nimekuja, sisi ndio tuko. Najua mnataka mapetit, lakini sisi maneno mwenye vitambi ndio tuko. Mnataka maboi wenye wana pesa, lakini sisi ndio tu. Azini inatusaidia as much as it's a meme, but it's an honest thing. Inatusaidia sisi as youth tujikubali. Ushaona, ukijipata na ile potibeli kubwa yako, uko na poti bigi, piga hiyo picha yako mami, post Instagram, tuta appreciate. Ushaona, kama uko na ile nini yako, wewe shukuru Mungu nini hayangu. Ushaona. Yes.
So can we talk about the warning signs of suicidal thoughts and experiences? Okay, we have to help someone out there.
Yes.
Someone has to know. Someone is caring for their kid, or rather for their sister or brother. Yeah. How can we communicate? Like, how do we do the communication to know that this person is going through depression or something?
Mimi ya kwanza nitasema tu hiyo the flare ups bila amesema. When I was in my lowest place, ingekuwa like msichana shika simu yangu kule, unafanya nini na simu yangu? I get it. Like those flare ups, those emotional flare ups, and it's basically because I am having so much weighing me down right now that nikipata anything small ya redirect my attention and my anger nitapeleka huko. So ukiona msemo mwenye ako pressed down kiasi, unamwambia kitu kiasi, ame flare up. That's just it.
Alafu another warning sign iko pale, if you see your friend or that victim, or if you are a victim, unafika place you don't want to be near people, you don't want to be with people, you avoid that social network. Even your closest friend, you want to spend so much with yourself. That's another sign of depression, and with that it means soon you are going to break. The next thing you see wengine uko kwa tai. Yeah.
I think we also have this artwork. I know to some point it can be therapeutic, but there are people that are depressed. You can see the kind of art they make, maybe through the poems they write. Or rather they can draw. They can make some drawings. So if you know this person, this is someone who's an artist, maybe you can't just assume that's talent. At some point it can be a warning sign.
Or even the music they listen
person is depressed.
Just one.
Yeah, the music they listen to. If a person is depressed, unajipata nasikiza to a music yenye iko na strong emotion. Music communicates a lot. If you just listen to the type of music mtu atakuwa nasikiza at that point.
I think another telltale sign ni paranoia. Unajikuta tu wewe uguswi tena, and people do simple things na una feel offended, una feel attacked, una feel kama ni wewe unakujiwa, and you're always defensive, really defensive. Depression is really sneaky because actually you never know when you're sleeping into it. Unajikutanga tu kwa peak, but ukijipata kama uko overly sensitive, you are withdrawn, unaogopa sana. I think unafaa kuwa unaanza kufikiria what's happening there. And don't ignore your friends, especially when you amesema at work. Unapata mtu all of a sudden anashare memes and beyond the fun, there's a message being passed, and especially when sometimes they're struggling with weight and it's an issue they're really insecure about. Now, when I keep on share memes about being fat, you should try and ask them, this is not funny, so this is not funny. I know you are insecure about this. It is not funny. It is not funny. Kuna memes funny, alafu kuna tu memes zenye zinapanga pure red flags.
So we have more and more signs, but I think we should focus more on how we can prevent this, because one person or another is going through this. Yeah, so I think we should help someone out there.
Man, first things first. How to prevent depression? Speak up. Speak up. When a person is really genuine na wewe, msee anakupenda for real, ukimwambia mwambie anything about kichini unapitia, speak up. That is the first step. Vile nilisema tukianza, problem half shared, half solved. Evil, just talk to me. And again, it is really easy. Trust me, I speak this for all the genuine friends because wewe kuna manyokso kunje pia. I speak for all the genuine friends that it is way too easier for me to listen to your story. Take 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours of my day to listen to your story, blab about it all day, to go a serious conversation. And for me, nikae pahali, niko na dark shades na sunglasses, naangalia biology yako. Nikiangalia pictures zenye tulikuwa tunapiga na wewe, looking at your videos kwa nini yangu. You see, it's really easy. Just open up. Take that first step.
Quad on just on that opening up. It's kwenye the initiative ya msee mwenye ako depressed. Because as we've said, you never know when you're depressed. And you never know when you're reaching the peak. So any genuine friend, please just assist. Kuna hizo signs tu zina indicate as we have stated them. So reach out. There's a time, nashukuru my friends a lot. There's a time I just wrote a simple statement nikawaambia, like, thank you so much. You've been so close to me. You've been a good friend to me. And the first thing they asked me, why are you sending such a text? Why are you sending such a text? It was a way I was trying when I was in Bali. It was a way I was trying to reach out. Okay, but because of that fear and everything, I wanted to reach out in it. But my friends, the genuinely good friends of mine, who I have phone numbers with them, they came out and asked me, okay, like, what is the problem? Because you cannot just send this statement. The last time, people send these statements and then the next minute you hear they are dead. So they asked me, okay, just don't take any slight messages. And we hide a lot so much of the memes.
Memes?
Yeah, as she said, kuna zile memes zenye ni jokes, lakini kuna zingine hapa kuna fact. Shona. Now, another preventive measures. Kitu yenye nilirealize after my experience, it's not always about you. Everything in happen is just not about you. See everything in happen, unaona, it's like you're the cause of it, you're the problem to it, everything. There are a lot of hell other things zenye ziko pale. Just focus on the positive energy na wachana na a lot of negativities. Na ile place yenye mtu alikufa kwenu and then unaona like, hey man, ni mimi if I could have done this. No, there are some things that are beyond your control. Yeah, so tukubali hiyo tu.
Another thing that's worked for me ni kukuwa my best friend, my biggest fan kabisa, because no one can tell you nothing. When you love yourself and you know yourself ile sana, not your pride, not kuna pride and then it's just self-love. Genuinely, when someone walks up to you and tells you you're ugly, you'll be like, can't be true, cannot be true.
Yeah.
Because I've looked in the mirror and I've seen your, and you know me. Yes, and being able to be your biggest fan, ni kujisupport even when the wins are not so big, you know. Kama the goal ni kuomoka, kujifan, kujicheer up when umefanya visa ma projects umepata ka punch. You be like, you know what, hii ni yangu and I'm very proud of it. Celebrate your smallest wins. Kama venye Bia alisema, ukifanya makosa, don't be the killing voice. Usipo yule mse unajiambia wewe ni fala sana. You know, the negative self-talk plays a really huge part in us being depressed also. Because unapata mtu amekaa chini, msupa na anajiambia venye and then they end up doing things that will bring a lot of harm to their bodies. So jifunze kukuwa your best friend. There's a way you talk to your best friend. Sindio? Venye tumeongea about kutafuta watu safe. Hata wewe kuwa mtu safe to yourself, because sometimes you talk to the mirror, sindio? And it's only inipua kama the person looking at you on the other end ni mtu safe, and that person is you because of the mirror. moyo on this friendly, kujua venye unajiongelesha, kujua venye unajidefend, na unajua venye react when people disrespect you, you know what works for you and what doesn't, and you're confident enough to tell someone when they cross your path, just like, nah, you don't roll like that, you don't talk to me like that, you don't tell me like, you don't tell me things like that, vitu kama hizo. Your confidence in it, una get from loving yourself genuinely and honestly, hakuna mtu anaweza agree with that, hata society. Yeah.
This one is very important. Expectations.
Limit.
Your expectation rate so low, man. As in, just know like it's you.
Well, you guys out here telling us that, oh, this man will disappoint you, the world will disappoint you. Ikila mse, si man. Si tutetei ba.
I think the only expectations are for another, but okay, the world is changing. Okay, I'm not saying that, but you cannot have 100% expectation from your parents.
True.
Like it's just you.
Yeah.
They'll disappoint you.
They'll disappoint you is the mother of depression.
We control our expectations.
Who control expectation is people that care for.
So thank you so much. It's been a nice session.
So if you're out there and you're depressed, I hope you get help.
Talk to someone. Yeah. We really hope we touch someone out there. Please, man. We want to be safe.
And one last thing, like common space yako, if you do not want to open up conversation, but I know earphones. Music is the first remedy. And let me take this opportunity to market my friends. Tafadhali mkiweka hizo earphones, please be playing TK Lions music ama Mighty Cow. Those people wanatoa music yenye wallahi itakusuit. So, all the best, man.
So thank you so much. Please, if you like this video, like, subscribe, share, and turn on the notification bell. Until next time, bye.